What up?
Let's go. We back.
We are back. Your boy's back in the office, baby.
Bro, my boy was in paradise for a week, man. Glad to have you back, dude.
Chilling, bro. I just made a video, right? And I was explaining to my channel that, you guys should go on a vacation. I went literally a whole entire year straight with no breaks. I'm talking like not even a long weekend. I just went ham for a whole year straight, didn't take any breaks, which is cool. I got a lot of shit accomplished. I'm like in a much um, more elevated spot than I was at this time last year. However, like I didn't realize how much you get out of a vacation. Not only just rest, not only just like, hey, kicking your feet up and hanging out and clearing your mind and everything, but the biggest thing that I got out of it, as far as business wise, was a test to like my automation and what things I need to work on as far as automation when I get back. Like, where was I being pulled? What directions were I being pulled in while I was on vacation? I didn't. I refused. We probably actually lost some deals or we probably lost some money while I was on vacation, but it showed me what I need to work on as far as automation for when I got back. So a vacation is super necessary.
Bro, 1,000%. 1,000%. And I'm glad that you took the time and you didn't touch the business, right? Because that's something that I need to work on. Like when I go on a vacation or I go out, like where I'm out of town for a couple days, I can't. It's tough for me to not
So hard.
to not work at all, bro. So I commend you for that. Were you able to be more? Would you say were you able to be more creative, like with everything else?
Yeah, 100%. Like I was creative. Here's what happens. You go on vacation and I'm like, I was stressed out the whole entire time, which I shouldn't have been because I wasn't touching the business. Like it was stressing me out. And that was an indicator that I did not set everything up correctly in order for me to go on vacation, which is not healthy. Like you should be able to go take a break. You should be able to go walk away from your business and not be stressed out. I was stressed out though. Did stuff get accomplished? Dude, we generated like freaking 60 leads in the past 5 days. I put it on my Instagram today. I haven't looked at my lead generation business and we generated 60 leads. Like that's crazy. So
Yeah.
my team is working. It's just like there's so many other things that
Oh, yeah.
happen. You need to be able to just check out. But it was a test to show me what I need to work on in order to be able to check out in the future. But to your point, as far as like being creative and stuff, I'm just chilling on the beach and looking at the water, thinking about life, bro. Just thinking about where I want to go. I'm thinking about the most random things, thinking about like content ideas and stuff like that. So it's necessary, bro.
Without a doubt, bro. Glad you're back, man. Yeah, what we got in store for today, bro?
Yo, we're gonna go over how to generate leads for free.
For free.
For free.
So you don't need money to get leads in this business?
Yo, in any business.
Damn.
Literally, you can get free leads in any single business. I'm gonna go over that too on how I got free leads and on some other businesses. But um why don't we go over let's go over the main way because I think you built your business in the beginning off of free lead generation, right?
For sure. Um, so the first way that I started off with was dropping for dollars. Number one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is you gotta spend some money, right, to skip trace. But that's very minimal. If you can't spend money to skip trace 100 properties, then you need to figure it out, right? Like, so dropping for dollars, number one. If you don't know what dropping for dollars is, that's literally getting in your car. We drive past these properties every single day. These distressed properties where the grass is too high, there's too much mail in the mailbox, the roof has a tarp on it, broken windows, right? Whatever the case is, it shows distress, right? It shows the property's in distress. You drive past it, take the address down, write it, go home, skip trace that address, give the seller a call, right? That's 8 cents for a lead once you get them on the phone, right? So number one, I would say tried and true, proven time and time again, driving for dollars, without a doubt. Do you do any driving for dollars, Mike?
I used to when I first started. Driving for dollars is really, really good. Like what I would do if I was just starting out and I didn't really have any cash. I love direct to seller, so I want to talk to sellers, right? What I would do is I would dedicate part of my day to going out in the field driving for dollars, and then I would take those people that I just put in my funnel, and then I would go call them, and I would
Yep.
do that every single day consistently. And that's the way. It's honestly pretty much free. What are you going to pay? You're going to pay for gas, and you're going to pay a couple bucks to skip trace and everything. Like that's fairly free. So I do like driving for dollars. I actually like virtually driving for dollars better than driving for dollars like out in the streets. I personally would like having a virtual assistant going out virtually driving for dollars and then having them skip trace that and cold call. But this is a free lead generation, so we're not going to go down that road.
I like driving for dollars though, because you can literally do that while you're just doing everyday life. Like you're going to the grocery store, just keep your eyes open and look on the side of the road. Like it's crazy how when you're not looking for something, like we're trained to look at the nicest houses on the block, right? But you're so trained to the point where you totally ignore these busted up ugly houses when those are the money makers, right?
Mhm.
Like we're trained to look at the nicest house, right? But once you realize like, oh shoot, there's a bunch of ugly houses out here that these sellers probably need my help. They're gonna be popping up everywhere. Like I can't go outside without seeing a property. Like I know people get mad at me when they're driving with me in the car because I'm pulling over, I'm getting addresses. Like, nah, I see a house, I'm gonna grab it. I'm gonna grab the address because it's so convenient, right? I'm driving past. And
Mhm.
this time, if you're on the East Coast as well, this is a really good time for driving for dollars because, especially when it snows, right? You go out a couple days after it snows, the houses that don't have any, that their driveways are shoveled, it doesn't look like there's any footsteps there, like nothing going on. It's just beautiful white snow. That's probably a property you want to give a call because it's vacant, right? So
100.
there's yeah.
100. I love that, bro. I remember. I think I did a video like last year on that. I was in the streets driving for dollars. Just saw a property that wasn't shoveled out. Probably snowed like 2 days ago, and the thing still wasn't shoveled out. And I'm just like, yo, this is the property that you need to go call.
Yep.
So literally, after a snowstorm, take the day or two out of the snowstorm and go drive for dollars and look at all the properties that haven't been shoveled. And those people definitely need some love. So I love it. Yeah, driving for dollars is great. It's super simple.
Super simple. It's something that will always be there. Like as long as you're driving around, you should be driving for dollars, no matter where you're going. No matter where you're going. Num-
100%.
Number one way to get free leads, driving for dollars, without a doubt. Number two. So what I did when I had absolutely no money, right? I needed to start. I needed a business, right? I started my business over. I had absolutely no money. I needed leads, right? I knew I could close deals, but I needed money for leads, right? So what I did was I found people who their number one thing is generating leads, lead generation, right? We were just talking about them on the backstage, Mike, integrators, right? There's so many integrators out here that do not have a visionary, right? So many integrators do not have a closer on their team that can close these leads that they're generating, right? So there's people who are like, yo, I do not want to talk to a seller at all. I just want to pull lists, skip trace the list, make sure I'm pulling the right list, work with the VAs, make sure they're good, and generate these leads for you all day, right?
Mhm.
If you can find somebody who's doing that, get close to them, right? Say, hey, I will close these leads for you, right? Just send them to me. I will close these leads for you. Work out what you can work out with them, right? Free leads right there.
I love it. My business partner started his real estate business like 2 or 3 years before he even met me.
Mm-hmm.
And he's an integrator. He's like an integrator to the max, like super analytical, loves to generate leads, is a freaking beast at it. And he started this business with another visionary. For you guys that might not know the integrator visionary story, it's like the integrator is the guy doing all the back end stuff, all the analytics, all the implementation, and all that stuff. And the visionary is the guy going out on the appointments, talking to sellers, building all the relationship, being the face. So essentially, he had a visionary partner that he was working with, but the visionary partner stunk. He wasn't getting it done. He was not good at talking to sellers. He just He wasn't a freaking savage. Okay. So my business partner was generating leads. He's a badass. He was getting it done. He was generating the leads. They just weren't being converted. So could you imagine when Mike was starting out 2 or 3 years ago and didn't know how to generate leads? If I had met Andrew 2 or 3 years ago, we would have been significantly like far ahead as far as our direct to seller business is now, right?
Yeah.
Like we would have got a kickstart on it. But at the end of the day, everything happens for a reason. But to Daryl's point, there are people out here that are just like, what the heck? I'm generating these leads and I don't know what's happening. It was me, bro. It was me when I was generating leads because I was generating leads in the beginning too. Like once I got a virtual assistant, I just didn't know how to convert, right? So there's somebody out there that has all these leads that just does not know how to convert. So get good at converting, and then somebody is out there that has all these leads that it's just a pile of money sitting somewhere, and they're like, "Yo, I just spent like $10,000 on skip tracing, virtual assistants, generating leads, and this $10,000 is just sitting there making me no money." They might have like freaking 150 leads, and there's probably at least 3 deals in those 150 leads that you can go in and tackle and call all these people.
Bro, that's so key. Like I don't want to just drive past what you just said. If you're gonna go this route and find people who are crushing it, generating leads, you need to be a badass closer, right? It's your job to be a badass closer because first you need to close them on the why they should send you their leads, and two, you can't let them down, right? Like you need to make something happen with these leads, right? So I highly recommend if this is you spend all the time that you can becoming a better closer, whether that's getting into mentorships, getting coaching, right? Investing in yourself, studying on all these techniques on how to become a better closer. That's what you need to do, right? If you're going to
go to our sales training.
What do you say?
They should probably go to our sales training video.
They probably should do that and watch it over and over and over and over again before we take it off and start charging people for it. Yeah. Right. So if you want to go that route and you want to reach out to integrators and other people generating leads, right? And it doesn't have to just be integrators. It could be anybody who's generating leads, and position yourself as the closer, right? Now you can either position yourself as a closer that works on their team, or you can position yourself as a closing partner, right? It's all about how good of a closer are you and what you can negotiate with this person, right?
Dude, we're like top on YouTube if you type in sales training wholesale.
Oh yeah,
Wholesale Hardknocks is the 3rd video.
I like it.
Come on,
I like it.
Y'all go type in Wholesale Hardknocks sales training, and you will see some badass sales training. So yeah, to Daryl's point, just get really, really good at talking to sellers. Get good at closing. Put all your time and energy. Get close to these people that are good at closing, and you will become a closer. And then you'll be able to take your talents and go help an integrator that does not want to talk to sellers. So that's what I would do. Another thing, what I would say to kind of piggyback off of that as far as lead generation is you could reach out to, maybe they're not integrators, but maybe they could be people like just people that understand cash deals, that don't understand creative finance. And you can reach out to them and just say, hey, send me your dead leads. I know creative finance, right? So it's essentially the same thing. It's an investor that has a bunch of leads that they just don't know what to do with, and you're coming in and providing some value to them in order to help get the deals across the finish line. Did you do something like
that? You actually need to understand creative finance and do creative finance to tell somebody, look, trust me, I will close your deals creatively. Because you're gonna have people reaching out to you every single day asking you what's going on with this lead, what's going on with this lead. And if you can't show them any progress, you're gonna have a lot of headaches. I'm telling you.
100%. So this is funny, right? When I first started learning about creative finance, think about it. When I first started learning, I thought that I could just go generate creative finance leads like right off the rip. I reached out to people on Facebook without any freaking credibility, without anything, right? I just reached out to people on Facebook that I knew were wholesales, and I said, hey, send me your dead leads. There could be an opportunity for creative finance. Like, bro, who the hell are you, dog? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what I got one time. I remember I reached out to somebody on Facebook and said that, and essentially said, hey, send me your dead leads. I have a lot of creative finance skills. Let's get these things done. And he's like, bro, just be honest. You don't have any leads right now that you're working. And I'm like, dang, bro. That same wholesaler though. Actually, never mind. Never mind. Anyways,
we don't gotta talk about it.
but
yo, that's big, bro. That's big. And the whole thing with JV, right? I had somebody reach out to me the other day, and they asked me a question about how to run a JV business efficiently and how to remove yourself from it, right? Mm-hmm. So there's two things, right? One, it's really freaking hard to remove yourself from a JV business. One, because you have to provide so much value, right? Like people are sending you leads because of the value that you provide, right? It's aligned with the credibility that Mike was talking about, right? If people trust you, if people see that you're actually doing the business and you're actually out here helping people, they're going to want to work with you, right? So they're going to send you dead leads. So one, you have to constantly provide value to your community, your other wholesalers, real estate agents, whoever are generating leads. You need to provide value to them, whether that's showing them what you do, right? Giving them some sauce. Again, you have to position yourself as a subject matter expert for this, right? So you need to have some skills. You need to be able to show people what you can do, right? So
I wish I knew that earlier. Like yeah. I learned that probably in the last like 2 or 3 years of my entrepreneurship career. That let me think about this. What was the book called? Gary Vee has a book called Jab, 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 Right Hook. Mm-hmm. Okay. And it's about give, and then ask. Right. So to Daryl's point, you have to give value. This could be in the form of creating YouTube videos on creative finance. It could be in the form of just contacting them and sending them one of your seller calls or something and just say, hey, look how we did this deal creatively. Look how we talked to the seller here or something like that. Like give some value, get in front of their face and get their attention. And then you say, hey, bro, do you have any leads that could be creative finance leads? And then that's how you get some creative finance leads rather than being a bonehead like Mike and just reaching directly out to people. I was like, here's what I was doing in the beginning because I didn't really have many leads. So I was trying to generate leads as many ways as I could. I was trying to send out mailers and everything. And one thing that I was doing to do it was just texting everybody on Facebook, hey, send me your dead leads, send me your dead leads, send me your dead leads. And I was trying to do like the shotgun approach of just like hitting a bunch of people up and hopefully somebody ends up reaching out. I hate that approach. It's not good. You know why the heck I did it. I was just desperate. I didn't know how to generate leads, right? So giving value and getting value in return is always the best way to go.
Without a doubt. And like I said, right, like it's going to be really tough for you to pull yourself out of this business because it starts with you, right? Like you're not going to get leads. People are trusting you pretty much. People are trusting you to get it done. They're reaching out to you, right? Like you can set it up to where your team makes the calls, right? But people are still going to be reaching out to you for updates, right? So you need to be able to set up a efficient business to show them where their leads are at, right? Like show them the progress, because a lot of times these deals don't close right away. Most times, majority of the time, they don't close right away. It's going to take months and months of follow-up for you to get any traction, right? A lot of times they don't even answer the phone. And then you don't want your JV partners to just be reaching out to you all day. What's going on with the lead? What's going on with the lead? What's going on with the lead? Like you have other stuff that you need to do as well, right? So it's up to you to be able to set up a system in place to where they don't need to ask you, right? They can just check something. Okay, here's my lead, right? Here's the status of it. Here's the next follow-up. Okay, right? So I learned that the JV business, it's a repeat and referral type of business, right? And you have to think about like your customer experience, right? And I was looking at JV partners almost as like a customer, right? Because they're bringing the leads in, right? So you need to make sure their experience is top notch, right? And they're getting the very best experience that they're going to get working with somebody else. So that way, they're not selling their leads to anybody else. They're selling their leads directly to you, right? If you want to truly sustain a strictly JV business to where you don't need to spend money for any leads, right? I didn't spend any money for about 9 months on leads. No need to. You know what I'm saying? Because I was setting things up like this. I had things set up like this.
Mm-hmm. I love it, bro. I would say that kind of goes into the next free lead generation thing I was thinking about is referrals, right?
Yeah.
These are referrals. You could get, let's just say you had a JV partner who was sending you a bunch of leads and you really took care of them, right? Like it was a white glove type of service. They could go right into your CRM and they could see everything. They know that when they send a lead over to you, it's going to be taken care of. They're probably going to tell somebody else. They're probably going to tell their homie that's generating leads too. Like, yo, you guys should be sending your leads over to Daryll, right? Like Daryl's made me 50 racks in the past 2 months. Why are you not sending your leads to Daryll? So that's a referral. But there are also a lot of referrals that you can get from like vendors. So I was telling Daryll earlier, I was like, dude, you could do this in any business. Like you get free leads in absolutely any business. I used to have a junk removal business, right? Like the 1-800 got junk. And we used to get leads from absolutely everywhere. Family members, realtors, like other vendors that let me think about it, like attorneys. Attorneys were a good vendor to go to because they had people that needed to sell their house quick because of some sort of like crazy probate issue or something like that, right? And when that happens, we had to come in and clean out their property before they listed it. So like all these type of vendors, every single type of vendor that you could think of that could be attached to somebody wanting to sell their house, you go and reach out to. So actually another person that we used to reach out to is wholesalers, because wholesalers were talking to everybody. They were talking to a bunch of people through in their CRM that might need a listing or something like that. So we were talking to every single body when I had that junk removal business that could potentially have a referral for us in order for us to get business.
Referrals are great, right? Because like you got to think about it with JV, right? Like it's just you, right? Like if you want to do your marketing to other wholesalers and other investors, it's just you, right? Now when you obviously have people doing referrals, it's more than just you. It's multiple people that are out there spreading your message, right? It's free marketing. All right. So we're talking about free leads, free marketing, right? So referrals are great. But the tough thing about that is it's really tough to have a business sustained strictly off of referrals, right? I'm not saying it's not doable, but it's really tough to do it, right? Like I look at it like the way I look at my wholesale business, I look at it as an actual business, right? And I think about it as if I were to sell this to somebody, if I were to sell this business to somebody, how much could I sell it to them for, right? And if you have a business strictly with JV leads, that it depends strictly off of you, right, and your face and who you are and the value that you provide, it's gonna be pretty tough for you to sell that to somebody else and for them to find value in that as well.
Facts.
Yeah,
that's a fact. Yeah, going back to like providing value too, as far as the referrals, it's not just contacting the realtor and just saying, hey, send me your junk removal leads. Like you have to go provide them value. Like there was things that I would tell them, hey, we'll give you a kickback on whatever we got. Like I would do any and everything. Same thing. I used to work at I used to be the marketing manager at a chiropractic office. Okay. And the way we got the majority of our clients were through referrals from lawyers, right? These lawyers would have car accident clients and they would send us their patients. So,
what are some other places you can get referrals from for real estate leads?
attorneys. This is what I was just going to go down. So I would reach out. What we would have to do is I would have to walk into an attorney's office and essentially present myself. And I realized I got kicked in the face at first. I would just go there and I would just say, hey, send me your car accident clients. And it would not happen. It wasn't until I started providing a shit ton of value to those attorneys to where we got deals. So to Daryl's point, some of these people that you can reach out to for real estate could be a probate attorney. So you reach out to a probate attorney and provide them some type of value, right? Like tell them that you'll do all the things for what's it called, their clients. Like you'll help them clean their place out or do whatever. Provide some type of value to them that's going to catch their attention, not just, hey, send me your cash deals, right? They're like, dude, what the heck? I have like 20 different other investors contacting me just like you. How are you going to be different? I would tell somebody something like, hey, I know you probably have like 20 different people contacting you for all these deals. I honestly, there's already so many people contacting you. So why don't you just send me the absolutely ugliest situations that you got, and I'll take care of them for you. Like, or I would ask them, what is the ugliest situation that you've seen as far as somebody selling their property? And then I would tell them how I would solve that problem and how nobody else would have been able to solve that problem but me. And stick it.
I love it. And well, what type of attorneys do you think specifically for real estate?
Probate attorneys are the best one. Like these, so to tell people what probate is, some people might not know. Probate is essentially when somebody gets passed down a house from a family member or a friend or something like that. Somebody passes away and somebody passes down that house. It goes through this process called probate. Now, what happens is the attorneys have to run title and they look at the history of the property and they look at the will and they make sure that the person that it's being passed down to is the right person. And once they verify that it's the right person, that person gets named the executor or the personal representative of the estate. And now they're in charge of the property. They either sell the property or live in the property or rent it out or do whatever, right? They're now in charge of it. So you go to those attorneys that get contacted by these people that get passed down a house. They get passed down a house and they contact the attorneys and they're like, yo, I don't know what the heck to do with this house. My pops left me this house. He passed away. The house is in terrible condition. Like, I never want to live there. I don't want to rent it out. I don't want to do anything. I just want to sell it. And the attorney's like, well, crap, this thing can't go on the market because it's in too bad of a condition. Why don't we just contact Daryll or Mike, who has a business where they just buy houses? It would probably be simpler just buying it from just selling it to somebody directly.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Any others that you can think of?
Any other what? Attorneys?
Yeah, type of attorneys.
Type of attorneys? No. I can't think off the top of my head now. Yeah, no, I can't think of title companies. They send a lot of times they have pre-foreclosure lists, title companies. So you don't have to go buy the list. You have to skip trace it, which may cost a few dollars, but you can get free lists from your title companies.
Love it. Yeah. And sometimes they have deals that fall out of contract.
All the time.
You know,
all the time.
That they'd be willing to, if you have a good relationship with them, you tell them like, yo, at the end of the week or something, at the end of the month, let me know all these deals that your client couldn't get across the finish line for whatever reason. And I'll see if I can help the client out. So that's something. All types of attorneys, bro. Every single attorney sees everything. It's just like a realtor. A realtor sees all the types of deals. They just don't know what the heck to do when they come across a cash deal, right? So a lot of times they'll refer it to us. So that leads into the next thing is, I would say, realtor outreach.
Your favorite.
Realtor outreach. This is like, it can be looked at as a referral business. And the best realtor outreach businesses are operated as referral businesses. Like, if you guys know Jonah Corchin, he was on our podcast maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago.
And they did not see that episode, they are tripping, because that was one of the best episodes that we had. If you guys want to know anything that we're about to drop right now, we probably got it from that episode. So make sure you go back and watch that. My bad, Mike.
Oh, you're good. Yeah, Jonah's a freaking beast. So he essentially told us everything about his direct to agent business. And it was really based off of relationships. Like, he does the majority of his deals with a certain amount, probably like 20% of the agents that are in his pipeline. So that is a relationship type business. However, for me, I've actually done deals where it wasn't. Well, let's talk about that a little bit. Like, having a relationship with a realtor, what does that look like? How would you provide value to a realtor so that they keep sending you deals?
So one, they need to know that you're alive, right? They need to know that you're there. So you need to be able to follow up with these realtors and get in their face every single day. You need to be reaching out to them. Not every day, every other day. Reach out to them, right? And you need to explain to them what you do, right? That first conversation, I always tell people go for the relationship, right? Even if they have a deal listed, tell them how you help other real estate agents, tell them how we help other sellers, tell them what situations they're good for you, right? So like I would like realtors to send me their dead leads, right? So no equity, pre-foreclosures, things that they can't sell, right? So I tell them, I'm like, hey, I'm just like every other investor that you may work with. I buy cash, right? But that really doesn't excite me, right? You can send me the cash stuff, but you can send that to everybody else as well. Where I really want us to work together is on the leads that make no sense for you or for anybody else, right? The ones where sellers may be asking for too much money, somewhere a seller may need to come to the table and pay just to sell their house, right? Where there's no equity and nobody's coming up to their price. Or maybe they're in a pre-foreclosure situation to where nobody can solve their problem, right? I'm the guy for that. I've helped plenty of real estate agents, plenty of sellers by doing this, right? And show them what we do and just continue to follow up with them. You need to be able to follow up with them on a regular basis, right? Because they're going to forget. They get these calls every single day. You just need to be persistent with just like with everything else.
I love it. And I think a lot of people might be listening and they might be like, dude, I don't want to do creative finance. Like I just want cash deals. I just want wholesale cash deals and fix and flip or whatever the case is. That's cool. But if you learn creative finance, right, here's what's going to happen. You're going to provide value by solving the realtor's problem. Like you're going to get a deal done that nobody else can get done. And then what happens? You're top of mind when that cash deal comes out. So Daryll did say, hey, yeah, I know you send you send everybody the cash deals. Like you don't have to send me the cash deals. But here's the thing: when you solve their problem and you pop up in their mind, they're going to send you the cash deals first, even though you told them in the beginning, in the first conversation you ever had, don't send me the cash deals. Since you provided a shit ton of value, they're going to bring that cash deal to you like right away. So that's how you provide value to a realtor. I think with realtors, the last thing we could talk about is just reaching out to a listing agent directly and just letting them know that they can represent you as well. So I'll reach out to the realtor. I did this deal. I'm actually in the middle of a fix and flip right now that I got from a realtor. And here's what happened. I got an email from Redfin. Redfin sent me a deal. Well, sent me an on-market deal. It was like, I think it was listed at 265 or something. And any property in where my office is located for 265 is like, yo, what the heck? These houses are going for like 400 or 500. This must be a deal. Let me contact the agent. So it sparked my attention. I contacted the agent. I was trying to figure out what was going on. That agent was like, yeah, whatever, dude. Everybody and their mother is trying to buy this property. But I let her know. I said, hey, I'm also unrepresented, so you can submit my offer as well. I'm probably not going to be the highest buyer for you, but here's my offer. Gave the offer, and she didn't even write it up for me, bro. Literally,
Really?
she never even got back to me. That's how confident she was, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Remember, listed at 265.
Mm-hmm.
This property was not in a market that she typically works in. She just was confident in her comps. She was like, yeah, this thing's gonna sell. Here's the thing. I talked to her like probably an hour after it was listed.
Mm-hmm.
So I was on it. I got the email right away and I was like, oh yeah, this is a good call. So, but she in her mind, because she ran comps, she thought that thing was going to sell right away. I gave her my offer. I let her know that I do fix and flips all around that area. I'm the expert in that area. After I learned that she was not the expert in the area, I made sure that it was known that I was the expert. Okay. I gave her my offer. She never even submitted it. She said that she'd get back to me, never got back to me at all. 2 weeks later, I get a call back from her. Hey, this is Mike, right? Yeah. Are you still interested in the property? I was like, yeah, I think I sent you over the numbers. Like, what happened? You guys didn't sell it? She's like, no, I'm still sitting on the market. Anyways,
Of course it is.
Exactly. I end up going to the property and meeting her there and submit my offer at $205,000. This is $60,000 less than what it was listed for. It was probably I didn't get her highest bid at that point, but it was probably like $15,000-$20,000 less than her highest bid.
Right.
I can imagine. I should have asked her that, but I can imagine that it probably was. And she ended up saying, no, I don't really know. We're going to list the property for the next weekend. We're going to see how it goes. Then she called me back that same day and hey, actually, would you come up to 215? And I said, no. And then she ended up coming back. She ended up saying again, all right, we're just going to end up letting it rock for the next week. We'll get back to you. I'm like, okay, cool. She calls me an hour later and says, hey, we can do 205. Let's move forward. I'm like, all right, cool. So I got it locked up at 205. The reason being, though, why I just told you guys all that is because she was like, dude, this property is not in my market, right? She had motivated sellers who needed to leave. They were closing on another property. They needed to close on this thing. She's like, yo, this isn't my market. I don't know. This listing is beating me up, whatever. I'm going to make more money if I take a lower purchase price anyway, because this guy's going to give me dual agency.
Yep.
Because now she gets the whole 5%. She doesn't just get the 2.5%. Now she gets both sides of the commission, buyer's agent and listing agent. So what she did, and she obviously didn't tell me this, but she probably went back to the sellers and said, hey, this thing isn't selling. I know you guys I know you guys have to leave in the next 30 days. This guy's willing to close. He's been doing deals all around the city. Like, this guy's going to close on your property. Let's just take 205. And she probably convinced them to take my offer because she knew she was still going to get more money going with us.
For sure. It's crazy how that's literally the magic word for real estate agents. Like, it's almost like they're not listening until you tell them, hey, I'm not represented by anybody. You can represent me as well. Right. And it's like, oh, okay, now you're talking. Right. So that's I suggest leading with that. Right. I suggest leading with that when you get on the phone with them. Hey, my name is Daryl. I'm calling about this property on Main Street you have listed. Real quick, I actually don't have an agent representing me on this. Would you be okay with representing me? Perfect.
I love that. The reason why I love it is because people will go in differently, and they'll go in with something like this. They'll say something like, hey, Daryl, this is Mike. I'm calling about your property on 123 Main Street. I'm unrepresented, so you can get both sides of the commission, right? And they sense that you're trying to hold a freaking piece of candy in front of their face. Like, dude, that's not sales. But I love the way Daryl worded it. It's not about what you say, it's about how you say it. So the way Daryl worded it was, hey, I actually am unrepresented. I don't have any agents in that area. Is there any way that you could help me with the listing? Like, help me with the offer?
Yep.
Now they're like, oh, this makes sense. This guy genuinely needs my help.
Needs help.
Okay.
Of course.
And in their minds, do they really give a shit about that, or do they really give a shit about their commission? They give a shit about their commission. It's funny because my girlfriend just did a dual agency for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And she won't stop talking about it. She's like, oh, yeah, like the next listing I get, I'm doing dual agency. I don't care. I'm getting a dual agency. That's all. Right. So the agents love dual agency.
They love it. So I that's what we talk about, lead with value, right? And that's a great point, Mike. Like, I didn't even notice it. That's just how I naturally go into it. But what you said is a great point, right? Like, you don't want to make it seem like you have a motive, right? Like, that's why a tone of curiosity. And we talk about this in our sales training. So if you need some sales skills, get that sales training link. I'm telling you, because we're about to take it off and start charging for it. But if a tone of curiosity helps so much, right? Like, if you go in there like, hey, I just need some help here, right?
Mm-hmm.
People are more willing to help you out, right? Even if they have their own motives behind it, even if they just hear the money in the background, right? That they're gonna get, they want to help you out because they don't feel like you're trying to take advantage.
Mm-hmm.
They don't feel like you're trying to take advantage. So, heck yeah, bro.
That's our sales training right there. I think we kind of hit it on the nail, bro. There might be a couple other things that come up as far as free leads. Like, I can think of, especially other businesses that I have, ways that I generated leads for free. But this is the majority. If you guys want to take action right now. I think we laid out like 5 different ways you can generate leads for free.
Yeah.
For free. Like
Without a dollar.
You don't need any money. All you need is some time and freaking hustle. So you can go out there and generate these leads for free and get it done and start making freaking tens of hundreds of thousands of dollars in this freaking business. Promise you, it is that easy. You just have to take action. Okay. I think we went over all the ones that you can fairly do like right now.
Literally, you can go outside right now and go get leads. Right now, it's up to you to convert. Right, and that's what we were talking about. There's two different there's different parts of the business. Right, you have lead generation and you have conversion. If you're going to outsource your lead generation, you just better be the best closer that you can be. Right, because now you don't have no reason not to be. Right, you got your time back. You're not generating leads. You're spending all your time calling sellers. You need to be the best closer that you can be, right? So become obsessed.
That's a fact. With that being said, y'all go take some action on these free lead strategies and come back to Wholesale Hard Knocks in the comments with, yo, I just got a lead for free.
Let's go.
Literally, if anybody's watching right now that plans on watching next week, which you probably should, okay, I want you guys to come back in the chats next week with a lead. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring you up on the screen and talk about the lead, talk about how you generated it.
Let's go.
So I want that to happen.
Let's go.
Out in the universe. People, thank y'all for watching another episode of Wholesale Hard Knocks. It's your boy Mike Gomes and my guy Daryll right here. If this video brought y'all any value, please like both of the videos. Subscribe to both my channel and Daryl's channel. We appreciate y'all. Peace.
Peace.